Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie Moreland and I am so glad that you're here. I share all kinds of things about my pregnancy journey with baby number one, as well as natural and non-toxic living. I'm super into these sit down chatty videos. So if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. Today I wanted to talk all about my unmedicated birth plan. So one thing that I realized when I first found out I was pregnant is birth and labor and pregnancy is very unpredictable, and lots of things can go unplanned, or things that you thought wouldn't happen can happen. But I think it's important to recognize and accept that we can prepare as much as possible, but sometimes things may go unplanned. My birth plan is something that I've been thinking about since I first found out I was pregnant, and I am going to the birth center. So they view a birth plan a little bit differently than some other places. They view a birth plan more of as a list of hopes and dreams and kind of how you can see things going, but also preparing for those unplanned situations. So my fiance Keith and I, we have kind of created a hopes and dreams list of things that we would like to see when I am giving birth or in labor, and also kind of some things that we just thought about in case some unplanned situation or scenario happens. So we'll just start with kind of like our hopes and dreams and how we see things going. So kind of like our birth plan. As I mentioned, I am planning to have an unmedicated birth, but of course, with that being said, I will have an unmedicated birth as long as myself and the baby are safe, and that is the best, most optimal route that we can go. I would like to labor at home as long as possible. So the birth center recommends calling them when you are having a 411 contraction, and that 411 is 4 minutes apart, contractions 1 minute long for at least an hour. So that's kind of what we're looking out for, and that's when we'll call, and that's considered most of the time active labor. So that's kind of when we'll go to the birth center. But in early labor or the beginning stages when you're just dilating and things are kind of ramping up, I would like to be at home just because I am most comfortable here in my own setting and in my own bed, and it's just more comfy to be at home. We are also planning to use the Bradley method, which is essentially just husband coached birth. So Keith and I have been doing a lot of research about what that looks like and how he can be the best support person and kind of like my doula or my birth coach. In terms of environment, I can see the environment being very quiet and calm, possibly listening to like some calming binaural beats, instrumental music, with some essential oils. Like I love like pine or cedar wood essential oils. It's just very calming for me. So I can see that happening, and potentially laboring in the bathtub at the birth center if I feel the need to do that. I also plan on using movement as much as possible because I won't be hooked up to a bunch of IVs or medications. I will be able to move freely as I feel necessary. So I plan on using a bunch of different labor positions to kind of help baby move along and move out, and help my labor progress naturally. I also plan on using affirmations as well as breathing techniques to just keep my mind centered and calm and focused on the fact that my body knows exactly what to do and how to get this baby out, and baby and my body are working together to do that, and all I have to do is relax, breathe, and get my mind out of the way. Once the baby is here, I don't think we're going to bathe the baby at the birth center. We will probably wait 24 hours until we get home to bathe the baby, and we're also planning on not using the vitamin K shot. We're going to do oral vitamin K instead. And, we're going to do as little intervention as possible with the baby. And then it was important for me to kind of see how things would go if it is necessary for us to be transferred to the hospital. So in one of those scenarios that, isn't super predictable, what would that situation look like? And for me, that looks very similar. I would like, if possible, intermittent fetal monitoring so that I can still move freely at the hospital. I would also love for Keith to be there and coach me through the whole process in a quiet, calm environment, potentially with some music and essential oils. And, once the baby is there, I would also like very little intervention, and I would like the baby to room in and have skin to skin and things like that, which is standard at the birth center. And then, yes, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think it's really important to understand and accept that birth can go any which way. And I think the most important thing to remember is that you just want your baby to get here safely, and you want to be safe. So however birth and labor progresses to make that happen is the best way to birth your baby. And all birth is natural and normal. And I think it's important to accept that however baby gets here is exactly how they were meant to get here. And also whenever they get here is exactly when they're supposed to get here as well. So these are just kind of my thoughts on my unmedicated birth plan / like hopes and dreams. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel, and I will see you next Friday.